All right, PKN, episode 151. Kyle, I have a question for you. It popped into my head when we were talking. Kyle was telling a story about being an automotive salesman and how he would sort of pre-clear people. So my question is this: sometimes when I go to a car dealership, I give them and it's a sort of an "Am I the asshole?" I give them a, you know what? Don't waste your time. I am only looking. Move. I don't say move it on with the hand signs and everything, but like, hey, I would rather look on my own. Am I an asshole for doing
No.
that?
So there's just a protocol that you should be aware of
Okay.
because like the salesman isn't always he's not just like come hunting you down. He's more like an attack dog with a master. If you were to be walking out there unattended, for example, someone higher up would be like, "What the fuck is this? What is that guy doing out there with those board shorts looking at the trucks all by himself? Who's going to tell him about the torque? Not you. Nobody here wants to work, apparently. Go home." Like something like that might fucking happen to you. So like what would be better is if you could be like, if you could take his card, because then he's claimed you and you're his. But what you don't want to be is like the chick who's just milling around the party, like scantily clad around a bunch of single guys. You want to pick a guy. It's like prison. You know, you want to be somebody's bitch. You want to be holding somebody's pocket while you're in there. Otherwise,
I don't know that I want any of that.
Who are you looking for?
you have to. If you want to be like if you wanted to be like perfect, like when he approached you, I would say what you said. Like, I just want to look by myself. I'm really kind of just like window shopping, but I'll take your card, and if I find anything of interest, you'll be the one I come looking for. And
they accost you the same way they do. Like, I'm sure you've all been to Nordstrom, where you might just be walking around looking at jeans or something, and you can always see out of the corner of your eye the very well-dressed dude, and it's like, oh, the only reason someone's that well-dressed right now on a Tuesday afternoon in Nordstrom is because they're trying to sell that outfit right today, and it's probably like $700 jeans or something, but they always come over, and you have to be like, oh, no, I'm an adult, I can pick my own clothes out.
Oh, no, fuck that. I liked, where was I at? Bloomingdale's. I was at Bloomingdale's, and there was a very pretty lady in the there, and I was like, oh, hook me up. Like you could be my personal like fucking fashion assistant for the day.
Well, I've never gotten a pretty girl. It's always usually like a lithe, gay.
I'm down with that.
Guy.
No, so last time I went clothes shopping by myself, it was right after I did that New York thing. I think it was called like Digitrends or something. But all these guys were dressed like Justin Bieber, and I don't think much of Justin Bieber's clothes on a daily basis. But when I find myself dressed appropriately for like mowing the yard and everyone else dressed like pop stars, the difference popped. Like their hair was perfect, their clothes were fitted, their shoes were like high end. So I don't know. Someone chose those shoes with fashioned in mind. And so I had to go out and just have a look that I could do better with. You know, next time I'm going to see fans or whatever, like in some environment like that, I need to be able to look better than my regular Woody's Gamer shorts. And the guy that helped me, I think if he wasn't gay, he could pass for gay. And he was just what I needed. You know, he's helping me pick shoes. I wouldn't have thought that. I had special socks for those shoes that looked like I had no socks on, but I really had socks on. They were just super short. And I don't know. Everything was fitted. And I would wear that, like, even at the airport. The check-in ladies for United are like, you look good. And I'm like, man, like that gay guy knows how to hook a guy up. So,
man, the check-in ladies at United.
Yeah, right? Didn't hit me. She
That's
complimented
high class right there.
me. But no,
That's one step up from TSA. Yeah.
you get like a random compliment from someone who sees
The
people all
janitor
day.
at the gas station said these jeans look great on me.
Yeah, that would mean, dude, guys don't get compliments, or maybe other guys do, but I don't get many compliments. I'm not like, a girl looks nice, she'll get complimented all day. A guy looks nice, no one says shit. So when someone actually does, it sinks in. And
You just got to be careful with it, because it's like I've gotten help before with clothes to where they're like, oh, and you look really good in this dark navy blazer or something. You're like, oh yeah, you're right. I could wear this with anything. I'd look really good. Like, oh yeah, and you want this like pink shirt under it. It's like, well, it's maybe like tone it back. He's like, yeah, like a light blue shirt. And you also want this like summer scarf. And it's like, now you've got me. Now you're just trying to ornamentalize me. Do I need to get my ears pierced too?
Yes, the nose ring. Yeah, I hear. Another thing though, and Taylor, I don't think maybe is there yet, but when you're 40, like I've been far enough removed from people who are fashionable that I need a tour guide now. You know, whatever. Like if I'm trying to look nice, the things that I think look nice. Like I saw this a picture of like the NBA draft from 2002 and the NBA draft now.
Now that's not a fair. That's not what you want to be getting fashion advice from. Those guys are peacocking.
That's true. That is true, right? But the current guys were all in these slim-fitted, nice suits, and the NBA guys from like 2002 or whatever it was were in these gigantic like costumes almost.
Yeah.
And
like a salmon-colored Armani suit with like giant gator boots and a hat with a feather coming out of it. Like I'm going number 3 out of everyone.
Like a corncob pipe or
I don't
something
mean
for
to
no
be,
reason.
It's not racist to just like black culture has a certain like I feel like white guys when they buy a suit are just trying to conform, like, oh, this is what a suit is supposed to be look like. I aspire to look like everyone else in the room when I get there. Sometimes black guys are looking for costumes. You know, if you see a suit in the color plum,
that's a church suit. That's a black church suit. That guy is a deacon. Like if you look on the inside of those plum suit jackets, I guarantee they say fucking like deacon. Like that's the fucking those are the only people who wear those. It depends what you're wearing the suit for, right? I would argue that black guys and white guys get similar suits for similar tasks and like they dress similar for a white collar job. I would
like
imagine.
if they were an accountant,
and some white guys definitely have style.
But if you go into a party, then I think the peacocking can be almost like cosplay, right? You know, over in the black community. There's
a lot of different styles. No, this isn't bad. No, there's
very sensitive.
I think some black people definitely have a very flamboyant style, like you know and they in different ways. Like sometimes I see guys who have like a complete matching suit. Like it's like if everything matches, that's cooler. I never really understood that. That always looked tacky to me. It reminds me of like the early '90s when you'd have like a track suit where the top would match, the bottom would match, the headband, and you'd like have the knee socks that matched. It's like no, like you can't have the sneakers matching your headband and everything. It's too much matching.
What I think looks good, and I think it still does. Like picture Dockers with like a button-down shirt and another shirt under it that allows you to button down the button down like an extra one. You know?
Like you mean like khaki Dockers?
Yeah.
Like a charcoal pant. If I'm gonna wear like a dress pant, like charcoal or darker, not navy. I don't care for navy or olive or anything like that, and not khaki.
You don't wear
ever.
just khakis?
Not a big fan of khaki. No, I don't think it looks nice.
Uh-huh.
Or I think it looks a certain way that I don't care for. I don't know. It reminds me of Office Space. Like when I see khakis,
it's not the person
like
you want to be.
No, it's not. I never wore khakis, but when I picture khakis, I picture like a blue button up and like a fucking $7 Nordstrom tie, and it's just like it's like a slave uniform.
Can we look at this picture?
Yeah.
So this is Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell, probably 20 years ago, right?
Yeah, this is not a look for today.
My sense of style is frozen at that. That is what I look like in high school with worse hair. And
frosted tips?
No, I never frosted my tip. But I would get a ton of sun as a surfer and like an outdoor guy. So
I've seen the pics. You were dark.
At times it would be pretty light, especially towards the end. But that to me looks good. I recognize.
Well, there's nothing wrong with what he's got. There's nothing wrong with the idea of what he's got.
No, it does look like. What he's wearing right there is bad because he looks like one of those like characters that would be in a Spanish textbook, like right next to the vowels, and because there's like no brands on his clothes.
Like that's
you know those clothes they wear where it's like it's suspicious how there's no brands. Where you're like every clothes has like a brand or a letter or something on there. Like what the fuck?
But what I'm getting at is like the button up, with a button up with two buttons open and a shirt underneath it is a good look. You just have to have a different cut of button up. That's like a denim open, like lazy kind of thing that isn't fitted at all and kind of hangs even on this muscular young man. And his tee is also high on the neck. I want some kind of graphic tee under there.
So I prefer the non-graphic tee, and I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying I'm frozen.
When I say graphic tee, I don't want it to be a plain, just flat color. I want some shit going on that you can see.
Yeah, I like the opposite. And also, that tee is not like a white undershirt. That's a tee you could wear on its own. And
exactly.
And I like that about it. That look to me that we're seeing here, and I don't know how to describe it for people listening to the audio only version, but it's a denim shirt with a green T-shirt under it, and he's unbuttoned what I would call 3 buttons. There's the very
It's a
neck
long
one,
sleeve
and then
collared
2 more.
shirt, and
Like-
then just a green T-shirt under it. I don't like if when I wear collared shirts like that, I don't, unless it's a white collared shirt and I'm like wearing a suit or something, then I'll wear just a white T-shirt under it, an undershirt, so it doesn't, like, you don't see skin. But regular Oxfords like that, like long sleeve dress shirts, I don't wear any undershirts. Like I only leave the top one unbuttoned.
Exactly, you would have to button it much higher, and I don't.
You just leave the top one unbuttoned, and then if you get it fitted, you look better anyway.
I wonder,
because that old big style is kind
wear
of
an undershirt 100% of the time, and I prefer it to be colored. I definitely don't own any undershirts that are just like white undershirts. I've never owned a wife beater in my life. So
yeah, me neither. I wonder if you guys, when you fast forward whatever 10, 15 years, will be able to like pin down you know what looks good to me is a fitted shirt. You know, like it ties in, it shows your body, you've got a V like a guy's supposed to. Like I'm still stuck in like properly fitting clothing, but today everyone's
parachute
wearing
pants are back.
Yeah,
You
bell
can
bottom
subscribe to
parachute
GQ.
pants with ascots and those fucking French paye hats. I don't know what they're called.
I'm not really trying to say trendy or anything, but I think I got my own like particular style, and I think I've figured out how to dress myself at this point in life. But
I
that
just dress
evolves
really
over time.
simply.
I buy new and different things. The cut of my jeans has changed like 3 fucking times over the last 10 years or so.
90%.
Yeah, that
of the
does
time.
change a lot.
I buy a
because, like,
lot fewer. I buy a lot fewer T-shirts and a lot more polos and button-ups. I've always liked button-ups. I've got a lot of button-ups.
90%
Do you
of the
still
time,
have any
I'm not dressed
jean
well.
code jeans?
I wear a T-shirt a lot, and I wear cargo shorts a lot. I know they're not in fashion, but I like them, and yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those things that people hate on. Like, you could talk to somebody who self-admittedly knows nothing about fashion, and if you bring up cargo shorts, they'll be like, "Ugh, well, I know enough not to do that." You know, or like,
Yeah.
I don't know why it is, because they're like, they are handy.
I'll tell you what. If you wear a paramotor, the clips for your legs go right across your pockets, and it's super great to be able to like take your keys, put them in the cargo pockets, and now you don't have like an
They
uncomfortable,
make cargo
painful.
pants, though. That's my argument against that. Is they make the cargo pant. It is the cargo short, except they just keep going.
But they're much hotter.
Well, they're usually a very light canvas-like material. I'm a big fan.
I'm not.
I like cargo pants. I really dig the pockets. More pockets, the better. I like jackets with pockets. Like almost all my jackets have like these cool little pockets on the inside that a pistol can fit in. And I like to, like there's like knives and flashlights in there if I'm gonna actually go do a thing. It's I
Your
like
air
pockets.
conditioner must be rocking because you wear a coat all summer long.
It's 70. I keep it on about 71 upstairs, like when it's really hot. But down here, because it's the basement, like it's really easy to. It just
I
stays
see.
at like 71 or 72 with like a little help from the AC. But there's 2 separate AC things. There's one for upstairs and down. But yeah, it's cold down here. I like it cold.
Our
At
pools-
night,
oh.
like even in the summer, like I want to have to like get my blanket.
Yeah, I agree with you there with the blanket thing. Like, if it's not, when my AC went out a month ago or whatever, like I still had to sleep partially under a blanket because there's just something about it. Like, even if it's just like you leave my legs out totally and I just like cover my midsection with a blanket, like take my hands out, like there's something psychological about sleeping under a blanket that if I don't have it, it's like I just don't feel sleepy. Like I don't
Get
feel
a
like
fan
I
on
can truly
high.
get snugly
I want the
and
fan so loud
feel
I can
good.
hear it.
Yeah, I want to feel like
Well,
I'm beating the cold. So I think it's like 67 degrees in here right now. And so when I go to bed, I like to feel like, oh yeah, like I'm winning the battle.
67?
It's so fucking humid outside that like literally, I'm not exaggerating. Like all of my windows have like this layer of moisture on the outside of them just constantly. You can't see out the windows.
We have that in the morning. I maybe I'm cheap, but like 72 is as cold as our thermostats are set. My wife will sometimes take it to 70, but I don't fuss too much because, they automatically reset a few hours later. If she puts it at 69 or less, it's like, what are you doing? What are you? You pushed it too far. We've talked about this before. And it's I don't even know if it's probably not even that much money. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. I just feel like I should be, like I'm wasting money.
You
For a
could look
huge
into. You could
house,
find out
it costs
exactly
way
what
more.
it is. I mean, you just look up your AC unit. And it's got the number on the outside, right? And just do the math. And I bet it's like, oh shit, for 70 more cents every 8
I probably
hours.
could. There's 4 zones in this house, so like they're not all down. But if one
It's a
zone's at
nest.
70 and then next to it's at 77, that one at 77 probably runs less because all that 70-degree air is flowing in there.
Yeah.
You know.
What I do is like there's 2 or 3. Yeah, there's 2 or 3 rooms that I shut off, and I don't run any AC to those because there's no point. Like no one's in there, and so I definitely do that. It seems silly to AC a room that just has stuff in it. People.
Yeah, we don't have any
Yep.
rooms that are totally off. But anyway, oh, my pool's almost done. Kind of. We're swimming in it. The filter runs. All it needs is a fence. It turns out the rock starts now like 2 inches under the dirt, so they need to get a jackhammer out there and put the fence posts in. But it's nice. I'm
So did you do some
wired.
swimming today?
I did. Yeah, the last 3 days it's been open, so we've been swimming. every
Yeah,
day.
but it was a little chilly at first.
No, the water is like 87.
See, that's what I was
85.
thinking.
Nice.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I don't think that the pool, the cold water going is gonna be an issue because I've gotten in pools that have been filled like instantly, and like the next day, as kids we didn't give a fuck, so we'd get in and be like, yeah, it's fun, splash, splash. But like the next day for sure, after a full day of summer heat, it gets pretty nice.
It turns out they filled it with, I want to say warm water. It wasn't like exceptionally warm or anything, but it was like 80 something when they filled it.
Oh,
Did you like order a truck?
3. Yeah.
Oh, so it was like heating up in the truck all day, you would think. So like kind of
Yeah.
warming.
I think the source was kind of warm wherever it was city water and it was already, I don't know what the deal is, but so it was already chlorinated and it was good. What'd you say?
hope so. For sewer water, they just gave you like back
No,
or something.
it was like already
Yes,
chlorinated.
the guy made the
clean
big
city water.
stink about the internet line.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't Randy lose his job over there with the union?
I hope.
Uh-huh.
Fucking
Send him
Jose.
that shit water.
Now I know what to do with those 3 trucks from Flint. Send them over there. Yes.
And then we ran the hose for like 4 or 5 hours too to like, whatever, fill the gap. But yeah, it's nice. The PK subreddit went wild hating on my pool. There were 70 comments and like 68 of them were hating on my pool.
What were they saying?
They all
What
said
were
it
they-
was
what were they
like
hating
good
on? I don't
ratio.
understand. 'Cause
By
it's
and
not done
large,
yet?
they said it was really small. I looked at the picture and I don't know where they're coming from. Like, it's not that small. It's 24,000 gallons.
I didn't know there was a picture.
And yeah, there's a picture, and they're like, the water feature is tiny. My son is hanging on the water picture. I don't know if they see him, but it's like, I don't like. He can hardly reach the top. I don't know. It's not giant or anything, but I'm like, I don't know why like this. They'd call it out as small, and they're like, I pictured Woody's pool to be this big, and I looked at it, and it's roughly a pool the same size as mine, and I'm like, what are you guys seeing when you look at this? I don't understand, but yeah, I don't know. But they were like, for some
What
reason,
did they like imagine when you said rock structure?
I think
because,
they were
like,
looking for like a full-on 16-foot tall Playboy mansion type thing.
Like a full lagoon, like
Yeah.
of stones that they brought in and like set and mason workers and stuff. All good things for
These
kids to
stones were
jump
brought in
off
from
of.
Madagascar.
I looked at a bigger, like the first thing we did, we went to like their showroom and we're like, well, how much is this thing? And the rock structure was like 6 feet tall and maybe 6 feet wide. And they're like, oh, there's actually a lot of cement in that. That's $22,000. I was like, no, like that's a lot. At 22 grand, like it was really
You don't
kind
want
of
a cement
running.
sculpture at all. That sounds awful. Like I would think the cheap way to do that would be to get like the kind of guys who make fireplaces, because they do that for like a few grand, and those things are massive. It's like 8 feet wide and 15
Maybe.
feet tall.
What we
Just
ended
Yeah,
up
but they
doing-
don't do like
Concrete.
plumbing up in there and stuff.
Yeah, you got the fireplace for the hole and the.
It does need to be made of a certain material. Like,
Oh,
not
really?
any rock will do because it'll erode and stuff. So it needs to be, like, particularly resistant. We ended up getting a water feature kit, that they put in and whatever. And but we're really happy. Like, I was starting to say, it's my nature to, like, second-guess every decision, especially the bigger ones. And I'm like, I really like the shape of this pool. I think Cock and Balls is just what we were looking for. I really like the size of it, the depth of it, the color that we picked, everything. I don't know that
Well,
I'd
who
change.
fucking cares? Like
So it gets
they're
two
not coming over to
thumbs
swim.
from Woody, the owner, and 2 thumbs down from the
Yeah.
subreddit.
Now,
And
I will say-
68 out of
Which
70
that-
thumbs down from the comment. But like they're not going to
Yeah.
come over to swim. And if they
No.
did come over to swim, they would show up and they'd be like, "Oh, I love your pool. You have a lovely backyard." No one would show up at your house and
That
go,
won't happen.
"Look at this bitch pool."
I am
I'm not swimming in
uninviting
this bitch
everybody
pool."
from the comment thread, and they can't come
They're
anymore.
like, we didn't want to stand in line anyway.
Let me see if I can.
How's someone going to climb up on top of, then subsequently slip, fall, and get hurt on a rock structure that's small?
I mean, it's like 4 feet tall. Like you can jump off of it and stuff. But
Do you have
yeah,
a diving board?
no, we didn't do a diving board. Diving board one, it's an insurance thing. It gets really expensive, and two, it has a lot of impact on how the pool is shaped and how far out the deep end goes and stuff like that. And
They
I
should
was-
make like a temporary diving board so you could be like, and like, it'd like flip out. Like, remember in the old movies how people's beds would be like folded against the wall because nobody had enough floor space to actually have a real bedroom, and they'd like pull the bed off the wall like that, but for a diving board.
I did all this research when I bought the pool, and I was like, I'm trying to buy my second pool first, learn from everybody else. As I made threads on Reddit, I read all these forums and stuff, and everyone was like, the shallow end is where you hang out. Like, everyone thinks deep end, deep end, deep end, but then when they go to use the pool, they all go to the shallow end and have a drink and just, mill around. They don't like treading water. And I forget the depth of it. They don't need to go 8 feet. It doesn't warm enough, whatever. So we went 6.5. I don't know. I made all these decisions based on a ton of research. It seems to work out well. So anyway, we got the pool. We're very excited about it. We're digging it. I don't think pool talk is
Nice.
something we need to do very much of. But
Well, no, it's good. Glad you finally got it done, and you got at least like 2 months left to swim time. So that's good.
This is North Carolina.
6
it's
weeks.
July now.
Yeah, you swim on deep into October.
Yeah, I would think so.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I bet.
like October here's fucking hot. I can remember so many Halloweens
be
that,
too
that it was
hot.
like, no, I will not be fucking Chewbacca. Do you want me to die out there, mother?
Yeah,
Like, I'm gonna be Peter Pan or some shit. Like, fucking something light. Like, Jesus.
yeah. You won't
It
need
gets
to
hot.
winterize the pool before November. That's for sure. Maybe in November.
You know what the 4 kids always dressed up for Halloween? Hunters.
Oh, yep. That was that's pretty funny because I remember the quote poor kids being the ones who just like would wear a sports jersey and like a shitty football
I'm Tom
helmet
Brady
or something.
Like, yeah,
Oh,
you were
look at
Tom
me,
Brady
I'm-
last week.
Yeah, I'm Kurt Warner. And it was like, yeah, you and every other kid on this fucking block is Kurt Warner this year. But yeah, that was a good. What was
I
pirate?
had
That
the
was another poor
best
costume
or
because
the
you could do it.
worst. So it wasn't that I was too poor for a costume. It was that I wasn't gonna. I thought I outgrew trick or treating. That was my theory. And I was, freshman in high school or 8th grade or something like that. We just weren't gonna walk from house to house anymore. But then some friends invited me. And they're like, "Hey, Woody, we're all going out. Do you want to come?" And I was like, "Hot, yeah, I'm in." And I grabbed a backpack and I went as a student. And all the adults hated it. They were like, "That's not a costume." They begrudgingly gave me candy.
I would
or
have not given you candy.
One or two
No.
even refused.
No
yeah.
candy for you. Low effort.
Yeah. Well, it was really
Have a
last minute.
penny.
Yeah.
I was a pirate 4 years in a row. From I think like
You
5
really got your
to
money's worth out of
9.
that eye patch, eh?
Yeah, from like 5 to 9, I wanted to be a pirate, and then became a hockey player for a couple years, and then eventually it, like what he was saying, it was like, yeah, I guess I probably shouldn't do this anymore. So it became that like lazy teenager style thing where you're like, I know I'm only like 14, but I'm like way too cool to be around everybody around here, and so you dress up as like fucking Justin Timberlake or something with your, because everybody had their fucked up, awful looking hair with the tips, the whitened tips, whatever that's called.
Yeah.
What would you be, Kyle? A hunter?
I don't remember to be. Oh, I remember dressing up as like Elvis one year. I had like a leather jacket and a white T-shirt, and they like rolled the sleeves up, and we put real packs of cigarettes under the sleeves. This was like 2nd grade. Nobody gave a fuck. It was a different time. And
Not like you were smoking them,
Yeah, right. There
I'll
weren't
give you,
any in the pack. It was an empty pack.
2
Anyway,
cigs for a little extra candy, Mrs. Smith.
I was Lumiere one year from the fucking.
No way for Beauty and the Beast. You were
I
the
had from
candles?
Beauty and the Beast. I had the candles on my hands. We
That is
stayed up
great.
late. Like I had these yellow
good one.
jogging pants, and my whole top was a cylinder, and my face was painted, and each of my hands had like candlesticks on them.
Did your
4
mom
hands.
make this?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That sounds like an act of love right there. Like that's a dressing up your
I
little
mean,
boy's
you know.
Lumiere.
Well, my friend was clockwork, so had to.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
it wouldn't have
cool.
made sense.
He looked like shit. He looked like shit. And then like I remember like they made Chad the Beast, and they painted his face really shitty. And then I remember like Lindsay was Belle, and Lindsay was like, they should have made Arnold the Beast, ha ha ha, because Arnold's the only black kid in class, and then Arnold cried.
Wow.
Oh, poor Arnold. He's like,
He didn't get to be
That's
anybody.
terrible.
He didn't get to be anybody.
He was a hunter.
he was
Nice.
the backup beast. if there's an issue day of, we'll contact you. We don't anticipate that happening. Please stay by the phone just in case. Well, if not, we'll see you Monday. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
Poor
I feel
Arnold.
bad for Arnold. I just read
he
today
wasn't-
about sugar in the gas tank. Not as effective as you might guess.
It will fuck your shit up though. Like someone did that to Scott. I don't think it's gonna like disable your vehicle like it's like an off switch, but like now you've got a car that has sugar in the gas tank, and I think what he had was it kept clogging the fuel filter up, and like he couldn't start the car at first. There would be issues.
That
I don't remember the truck ended up getting totaled because a second ex-girlfriend came along with a bat and really did in the outside. Like one ex like took care of the internals, and the second came around with the bat for the external.
What'd he do? Like, did he get,
Same thing.
see a bit
did
of a
he get in
cheater.
trouble or anything?
He probably just loved them too much and paid too much close
Yeah,
attention.
that's women hate
Prob-
that, right? He probably just lavished them with gifts and love and attention,
Yeah, he probably fucked somebody else.
and they also hate
It's
that.
funny though, like the little standards we have that are different. Because if Kyle broke up with a girlfriend and 3 weeks later he told me, yeah, so I went back over to Samantha's house and I bashed up her Mini Cooper something good, smashed all the taillights, I ripped her flowers out of her front yard.
All of them.
Threw a brick up
Fuck
against
your
the front door to
Rangers.
make it sound like a really loud
Rangers.
knock, and then I drove away. I'd be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why would you do that? Like, you're gonna go to jail." But like if a woman does it, there's like some level of you're
she's
supposed to be like,
passionate.
"Oh, well, she's just passionate," But at the end of the day, it's like, no, we're just holding this person to the standards of a child, lower than the standards of a child. If a 3-year-old goes over to the fellow 3-year-old and knocks their Lego tower over, you go, the fuck? You don't do that. You don't knock someone's hard work over because you're upset about something else. But if a woman smashes a car up, it's like, well, she's passionate. That time of the month is always a perspective
Never
issue.
stick your dick in crazy. This
yeah,
just runs a risk.
That's the thing. Don't stick your dick in crazy. It's a tacit blaming of the man for not being able to tell she was crazy before he fucked her. And then also he should take some blame. Because if you fuck someone that's so crazy that they're going to come destroy your car after you break up, like there had to be some red flags.
He shouldn't take
Yeah.
too much blame. I mean, she is actually the one that fucked up the car.
Yeah, and that's not the first 2 ladies he's had like come back and try to do some damage.
Okay, well, if you're
hell.
always the victim, you're likely the problem. So then, if if everyone
right?
he meets
Well,
is
look,
bashing his-
he's a real man whore. Like he's just jumping around, like fucking all these ladies and telling them lies and stuff. I'm sure, but I just don't feel like that deserves a physical retribution. Them to come back and mess his car up,
They should talk trash about him. That would be an appropriate level of retribution, I think. He
I don't
treats
think
them
he'd give a
wrong.
fuck.
They tell other girls, he treated me wrong. He has a bad reputation now because of it amongst the
Oh.
people I can reach.
You hear? Becky couldn't handle him. Oh, well, I'm a lot more woman than Becky is. I'll show everyone. That's how it goes down every time.
That's how it would go. It's
That's how
Becky
it goes
thought
every time.
that stupid bitch Becky thought that she could fix him. He needs a real woman if he's gonna get fixed, and
Yeah.
I could do it.
Yep.
And then like 6 weeks
Next
into
thing
that,
you know, she's out in his yard with a baseball bat in the dead of the night, fucking clobbering his fucking Silverado.
You have to be good looking for that to happen because there was no line of women most people don't have 12 women like I'll fix him better than she could.
Yeah, Scott does pretty well. I think he looks like a white trash Justin Timberlake. But it seems like he doesn't really have any issues. And he's aggressive about going out and looking for these women too. He's not just sitting around having these women fall into his lap. He's going out there and putting the miles in. He's putting those feet to the pavement. He's out in like honky tonks and bars and clubs. He's traveling around multiple cities, Like he's collecting like lots of potential attackers.
There was a guy in my high school who did really potential attackers.
Potential.
There was a guy in my high school who did really well. And I once asked a girl, like, what is it about him? His name was Scott, and he was good looking, but not exceptionally so. Like he wasn't really strong built. He was kind of thin, and he had a space between his teeth, but otherwise attractive. And she's like, I don't know. He's cute, and he makes himself available, and someone's gonna say yes. And that was his thing. He just kind of was flirty to every reasonable girl, and it seemed like any time someone would say yes, and that was the one he liked back.
Yeah, he's got to be confident.
Numbers
You
game.
know that if he talked in a weird way that like always hit his fucking upper teeth or something because he was self-conscious about his gap, he would have been getting no pussy. But if he's confident,
this is good. This is an interesting topic because I started thinking about it. And it's like, yeah, I don't know anyone who like hasn't had a girlfriend or hasn't been able to get one. And I've known some repugnant motherfuckers. Like I talked about that.
Yeah, a lot of ugly women out there.
I talked about that one individual who like had the deformities with his hands and like had like 7 or 8 fingers total, and like his face was all like his face looked like it had been like hardened and twisted. Like it was like
there's a
like
Photoshop
that.
effect that does that.
It was like that, like hardened and then twisted a little and then permanently in that, like almost like a stroke victim, but there was something else going on there. It was a deformity. The guy's married. He's got 2 or 3 weird looking kids. I mean, that's a big fat bitch he got hooked up with.
Wait, does he have a couple? He passed it on to his kids?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't. I
Just means the children aren't good looking, not that they have the.
I haven't seen those children. They could be freaks of nature. I would just imagine. So, like I said, the guy freaks me out. I don't go around. Like I haven't seen that guy in 10 years.
I'm hoping the Photoshop spiral effect is on the recessive gene.
Oh, he's not a blood relative in any way. He is a like brother of someone who married into like a half sibling. So like,
I meant for his kids. He's a blood.
Oh yeah. I don't have any of that twisted face syndrome.
Nope. Totally clean in Kyle's family.
No twisted face syndrome in my family. Little diabetes, little heart disease, no twisted face.
Does Scott
syndrome.
still like his welding job? Your cousin?
He bought a $500,000 farm and then decided he didn't like it, and so now his dad is kind of saddled with that, sort of running that thing, and Scott is now welding again. So I'm not sure what he's up to over there.
So he abandoned he was going to be a farmer for his career.
Yeah, well, it's sort of thing. Those things kind of. I don't think he realized how much work he was getting into. What he bought an egg farm, and apparently you have to go in those things every day and like collect fucking eggs. Like they're constantly like rapid fire shitting out eggs, and you have to be in there like twice a day, maybe.
I don't think that's how they make eggs.
Just right out of the chickens, under the cages, and then they collect them. And they have to go in there and collect all these eggs, and then they have to like, oh, this is a grade A egg. It goes in the blue bushel, and this is a grade B egg. It goes in the red bushel. And it apparently was a ton of fucking work and maintenance, and I guess
all for eggs.
And somehow he didn't do any research before he made like a $500,000 expenditure.
And now his father's an egg farmer?
For the time being, it seems.
But what can you parlay that into? Like, is that land like good land for crops or something that he was going to do, or is this just a lot of land where he's going to have a lot of chickens?
But he leased it back to the like good part of the land back to the guy he bought it from for a nominal fee for some reason, and so that guy is going to like continue to grow crops there. So, yeah.
That doesn't make. Well, I obviously don't know. I don't own a farm.
Yeah,
I've never accidentally purchased one for $500,000.
No.
No,
I mean it pays for itself. You know, it makes its own payment. There's a lot of gross money that gets made there, but there's not a lot of profit that's coming off the top to amount for the amount of hours that have to be put in, as well as the maintenance and upkeep that's ongoing. You know, like it sounds like he really stepped in shit over there without asking anybody on my side of the family who might have been able to advise him a little bit.
Yeah, I would think that there's
error.
some farming expertise over in your neck of the woods.
Or maybe just common sense, you know? You don't need farming expertise.
Like, that'd be like just going and buying a house after like a 6-hour looking trip. Just being like, you know what? I've seen as much as I need to. You know, third time's the charm. This house is great. I'll take it. Like, you just Why would you do that? I'm actually thinking about getting a house.
Are you?
Yeah.
What are you looking for in a home? Would you like
I'm
it?
so
would you
green.
like? So would you like it a lot of land and maybe be out away from people, or would you rather have lots of facilities around you?
I'd rather have lots of facilities around me, like just in the, not in the city, but close enough to the city I can do whatever I need to do, and I'm kind of centrally located. But I don't know. It's like looking around on all the internet sites and realestate.com or whatever. Like it's confusing. It's complicated, and it's like, oh man, this is a big decision. Like I really got to make sure I get this shit right. Like I'm not sure if I want to purchase something like buy a townhome kind of thing or a condo to where I'm not responsible for maintenance and yet I'm still building equity, or if I want to buy an actual home, but then if something happened or if I end up doing something with work that takes me out of town a lot, or if I ever had to move, it would be like, oh well, fuck. Like I kind of
the townhome thing is interesting. I've had a few friends that bought townhomes or lived in them. One girl, it was just her father had bought it, and now she gets a free house. But another guy was buying them and selling them over the course of several years at a profit. It seemed like he was always getting up into a nicer one somehow. But and then one day I was like, his name was Hamid. He was from Morocco. And he seemed like a real nice guy, and I went to his house one day to his condo to like check this thing out. I was like, wow, this is really spacious. And we go upstairs to like the second level of this thing, and he had like 6 Middle Eastern guys in there sitting in their weird Middle Eastern underwear, and you could like smell their like funky, interesting Middle Eastern BO. Like it's different. And they were watching. They were watching on television. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but it was one of those things where there's like 100,000 Muslim parishioners all praying at the same time. And they were all watching like it was the Oscars, and they were about to find out if like Leo was about to get the award. And there I am, like just fucking 19-year-old white dude, like, man, y'all aren't the 9/11 kind, are you? that shit just happened. Like
that shit just happens.
like it is fresh on everyone's minds. And I just remember going back to work and being like, that whole you see something, you say something thing. Well, I'm saying something to you. So I was over at Hamid's house.
No, this is the Muslim Teen Choice Awards. Yeah.
It was bizarre. But yeah, I kind of like that idea of those things and getting out on the maintenance.
You still pay for the maintenance, though. There's usually a maintenance fee. And mortgages don't go up, but maintenance fees do, right? Which is a thing to think about.
And it'll get done.
Yeah, it will get done. Like I know a couple people who own condos. The way they've described how it works, at least in their situation, is like you pay like an extra $200 a month or $150 a month or some like set in stone fee of like maintenance, whether or not you actually have to, cash in that month or not on maintenance, and then they just take care. So it's like $1,200 or $1,400 a year.
That. Like if it was $200 a month though, like I would rather do that thing where like just fucking slide $150 a month into your own savings account and be like, that's for when the AC explodes, or that's for when,
But there'll be group costs in a townhouse, like that. Maybe the entire roof needs to be replaced, and that's why there should be a group pool of money instead of like
that
one
makes
guy
sense.
being
That's
cheap or
Yeah, that's why they got to do it that way. I hadn't considered the group thing. You can't be like, well, we can't fix that roof until you convince Cheapo Joe, your neighbor, that you need to fix the roof. And it's like, well, Jesus, like we need a roof.
It's really leaking on Taylor's part, so Cheapo Joe thinks the roof is okay. Even though he'll be next, we can tell the roof is 22 years old. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
How long?
I may just end up renting again.
Even on the time you've been on the show, I want to say you've moved twice. Do you think you're moving less now?
Yeah, I'm moving less now. I just like it. The whole buying a house thing is such a real commitment of like, this is where you're going to be living for a while. Like I don't anticipate wanting to move anywhere, but it's still kind of an interesting decision of like, I've kind of decided the next 5 whatever years I'm going to be here. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I may puss out or decide for some other reason that I should have to rent for another year or something, but it's just a nicer place or something. But my needs are so low as a single man. Like I'm looking at all these things like on the real estate sites and just being like, oh wow, this has like a lot of features and look how much room it has. And then like I look around at my my possessions, and I'm like, I got to get a lot more shit. Like, man, people are gonna walk into my house and be like, "Oh, you still moving in?" It's like, no, I've been here for like 3 months. I don't know why I need more than one bowl, you know, but that kind of thing. Or just like I was thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, my kitchen table, like I got 6 chairs at that. That's pretty big. That'll be okay. You know, oh, that's a huge living room. Do I have to sell my 2 couches now and buy 3 couches, or buy one of those giant assembled ones that people have? But they're always uncomfortable. Those big, just giant corner ones, you know, because like the back corner area is always useless because like the person has to like sit all the way back and have their like feet up like a child, like not hanging down to the floor. You know what I'm talking about? Those sectionals.
I got a sectional. I like it. It's disassembled right now. It's that big ugly red one.
I like sectionals too. We don't have. Oh, we have one in one of the sunrooms, but in our living room, it's just our couch is super long. I don't know, like 13 or 14 feet long. Like it's really long.
That's an enormous couch.
Yeah, 2 people can lay on it. Like, you know how you lay on a couch and like it takes all the room? No, 2 people can lay with their heads on opposite sides, and it's okay. But it's not. I don't even know. But the sectional I think of having is a turn. It is connected.
Yeah,
but
like
whatever.
I'm about to restart watching season 6 of Game of Thrones. Have you guys done a restart on that yet? I know, Kyle, you watch like the entire series before every new season, right?
Yeah, I'm about to start that. I need to find a way to get HBO. I don't have HBO right now. Chiz, that's right. Chiz was telling me to get it on Sling. I need to do that.
That's how I have it.
I have an HBO login, but I don't even know it. I just can use it because there's a person. I don't want to say his name because he doesn't know I'm using it. But he logged in on my computer once. And my HBO login that a fan gave me had worn out. And I was like, fuck. So I just start choosing like a random cable provider. And it's like, login as this guy? And I'm like, yeah. And it's saved in my browser has it saved in its history. So it's like scrambled. Like I don't know the password, but I can use it. I just click OK. And that's the situation I'm in right now. And I feel bad because he logged in on my computer. I don't think he intended for me to keep logging in afterwards.
He did not.
I don't think so either.
But it works.
And what's going to happen is you're going to get into that thing where he's going to be like, time for the Game of Thrones. He's going to look left. He'll see his buddy Dave. He's dressed up as one of the characters. Look to the right. Another guy's they're all cosplaying as the characters. They go to press play. You have reached the maximum number of viewers for this program. Please try again later. It's gonna be. Oh, I knew it was. I really knew. Yeah.
I like that when you get free stuff, even though you're not supposed to have it, but it's always like a little frustrating. You feel like something was taken from you when your free thing was taken away. Like there have been times where I accidentally get magazine subscriptions that someone else ordered because I guess people order fucking magazines for 3 years. Subscriptions, and then I move into someone else's old place, and it's like, oh, I guess I just get guns and ammo and men's fitness now, and then I just keep getting it, and after a few months, they stop coming. You're like, where the fuck is my men's fit? I didn't even buy that. God damn it! Well, that sucks. Cheap shit. You know,
can't keep me guns and ammo.
Yeah,
but yeah, I started watching Game of Thrones, but not season 6. I kicked it back a little. It's the season where Jaime Lannister jumps in the pit to save Brienne from a bear. That's in the Red Wedding happens.
Season
3,
4 or 5.
3 maybe.
I'm not sure. Somewhere around there, between 3 and 5.
Great. But yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch everything, cram everything, and then I'll be 100%. It's so hard to keep up.
There's no way you're gonna be able to finish it in time.
Maybe not. I haven't
even. You're talking
to
Kyle here.
This is so much content, and it comes out in 2 weeks.
It's an enormous amount. What? There's 6 seasons out currently, right?
Yeah, that's 60 hours.
So 60 hours. Yeah, that's
You could do
lot.
that in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but that's all you would be doing. Yeah. Your whole life would be Game of Thrones.
I would just
sleep,
be just showering.
You work 40 hours a week. 40 hours a week is just 9 to 5 and 2 days off. If Kyle doesn't take any days off, he could watch 9 to 3 for 2 weeks and be set.
If you treat it like an actual job.
If I had someone to watch it with, I might actually be interested in that. If I had someone who was thirsting for Game of Thrones and because then I really enjoy that if I've got someone to watch with and I can, it makes me be more attentive so that I can teach them as I go.
He's a show tour guy.
I like that.
I've been.
Yeah, I like being a show tour guide.
I've taken a Kyle show tour once. It was Trailer Park Boys, and it makes the show better.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. All of the like girls that I like watch TV shows with, I'm always like, I find out what their repertoire is. You know, like what have you seen, what haven't you seen, and then I like go to the best show they've never seen, and we watch that. And I'm a tour guide for that. It's always a good time.
Huh. That could be your Tinder profile. You know?
It is my Tinder profile. It's exactly what it says. Verbatim.
He just read it
Says,
to us.
let me be your tour guide, and it's you like winking, right? Yeah,
It's like that.
Here, give me a
Little tongue.
Am I a clickbaiter? Will do. So
Yes.
I uploaded a video today.
Yes, you are. I saw it. I saw the video. It's clickbait.
Okay. The title is.
What video?
I flew right into it.
It says. I think it says I crashed my paramotor right into it. I'm gonna look. I crashed my paramotor right into it with 3 exclamation points. Because you use 1 or 3. 2 is stupid. And the thumbnail is me crashing right into the pole of my windsock. And sure enough, in the video, like 1.5 minutes in, I launch. I don't know if I was target fixated or what, but I
Right into it.
I crashed right. I ran toward it, and I got maybe 3 feet in the air, smashed into it. It comes with me, right? So I flew like 20 feet, and I'm like throw it away and kick it from the prop, and I'm getting a lot of clickbait like accusations, and I'm like, man, the title is I crashed my paramotor right into it. 90 seconds into the video, I crashed my paramotor right into it, and there's a thumbnail of me crashing my paramotor right into it. How much do you need me to line it up for you?
I think you're really slicing it thin there and being very literal with this. I don't think that if you were trying to be as accurate and descriptive with as few words as possible, you would have used those same words. If you were trying to describe to an alien being what that video was going to be about,
okay,
you'd be like, oh, I at one point I fly into a small aluminum rod and it bumps me.
It's fiberglass.
But when I picture you crashing into something with the paramotor, then I picture you and your whole rig hitting something at least 15 miles per hour.
Oh, I'm going 25.
Like you got to hit but for there to be a crash, in my mind, I envision that once impact is made, we don't keep going. Because like when cars crash, it's like, and they're like, oh, fuck, we crashed. And we all got to get out and like dust ourselves off. But this was more like when you hit a bug. You wouldn't say, yeah, I crashed right into that June bug.
There is a picture of the June bug in the thumbnail, though. So that's, you know, so that's did I gild the lily a little bit? Like, yeah, maybe, I guess.
Gilded the lily.
But
is that what that means?
I think it does. I don't think it means masturbation. I think it means you.
That's to me.
You know, you like not stretch the truth, but you know, decorated it a bit. And I might have done that, but I feel like clickbait is like, you know, Jenna Aniston naked. Is that even a person? What's her name? Jennifer Aniston naked? Question mark! Exclamation point!
I'm
question
sure her
mark.
friends call her Jenna.
And then she's not naked. Like that's clickbait. You know, when the thumbnail is not a thing that happens in the video. Yeah, I see that sometimes. Like it's this perfect feminine form, like her butt or whatever, and then you watch the video and that like doesn't even happen. That's clickbait.
Yeah, that's what back in the day. That's what Philip. I don't know if he still does it. That's what Philip DeFranco's thumbnails always were. It was like some news story, something else, and then just like a big ass, and it's like, I didn't watch a lot of those videos, but usually it didn't have anything to do with the ass. But the ass was a good way to get those views, and so you know, more power to you.
Yeah.
Taylor, are you a little worried you're gonna lose the thumb?
No.
Taylor cut himself last night, right across
2 nights ago.
2 nights ago, right across the thumbprint of his thumb, and it looks pretty nasty. At first, I thought you'd sent me a picture of your penis because it like shows me a preview on my phone of a text message. I was like, who sent me a cock? And I like, open it up, and it's Taylor's mangled thumb, and there's just a cut right across the pad, and it looks painful.
It was like one of the worst. Like there was, I think like 3 years ago or so, I did the same thing with like with the knife on my pointer finger, and I got myself pretty bad. And this one was worse, definitely, than that. Like all I've been doing is, you know, changing the bandages like every 4 or 5 hours or so, because I guess that's what you're supposed to do. You know how cuts or wounds get itchy when they're healing. Like, I can definitely feel this itching more than like the regular little cuts, which is obnoxious. But yeah, I've just been putting like hydrogen peroxide and Neosporin and shit. But if it's not
Is it infected?
good,
Does it hurt when like? Does it hurt to push? Is it red? Angry
if I like push at it, then it
Well,
hurts. But like if I'm not I can
sore,
move it.
not
Like I'm not
super
fucking.
tender.
Yeah, like if I like pick something up with my right hand, I'm not suddenly like, oh, like I just be like, oh, that kind of.
Has it impacted your kettlebell routine? I bet it has.
Yeah, I wasn't able to work out yesterday because I was thinking like, it's probably worth it because any kind of cut on a finger, you move so much that I didn't want it to be like, oh yeah, well it's not bleeding, so it's sealing up. I'll just go ahead anyway because I knew I would end up tearing it back open and it'd be like, oh good, I just wasted 2 days. So, yeah, I'm gonna give it another day or two, and if it's not,
maybe skip the week.
Yeah,
It's
maybe
Tuesday,
skip the week.
Right?
Yeah, I won't end up doing Wednesday or Friday this week. Hopefully by Monday it's good enough. And if anything does seem troubling with it this week, I'm just going to end up going to the doctor. Because I catastrophize things so bad in my head, and I don't know why. When I'll be like, oh my god, like you're gonna get, like it's gonna get infected, and you're gonna lose your fucking thumb. Like it's all gonna come off. And then like I'll have to like look at myself and be like, what are you high? What's wrong with you? No, of course not. What's the worst case scenario? It starts to hurt and you go to the doctor. You have health insurance. You're an American. You're a white American man. You're going to be fine. All right.
They'll cut off a black man's thumb just to give it to me.
Oh
I'll
Jesus!
shoot him dead in the street if need be.
That's what
I'll
the
be like
police
that
are
guy
for.
like that guy in Oz. I'll have one black thumb and I'll have to hide it when I'm, around all my white supremacist friends.
You won't be able to get any rides? Just because they'll be like, no. Don't think so, darky.
Is there a guy in Oz with a black
Something a little
thumb?
shady about that fella.
Well, the gums. He got the gums.
Oh. Is
Have
that
you seen
true?
this
I don't remember
animated,
anything about that. I can't trust you guys because you always try and trick me.
Yeah, we're not fucking with you. The white supremacist gets a black man's gums. This animated thing is really funny. Let's watch it. It's a minute long.
All right.
Taylor won't care for this at all, but you will, maybe.
I've probably seen it before and didn't like it. I think these all. We'll see. We'll see. I'm ready. Set.
Yeah.
Play.
Hey Nate, check it out. This one's got a big backyard patio, giant board in the living room to throw knives into, bike racks built into the wall, metal bathtub for ice baths, big ass garage for jiu-jitsu, garden in the front lawn. You're into that, right? You like gardening?
Yeah, I do. Can we install, like, pegs on the wall to hold our nunchucks?
You can. I'm not paying for that shit.
Sounds just
I
like
haven't
him.
gotten a paycheck in 10 months.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll pay for it. Hey, where's Caesar gonna sleep?
I don't know. I told him we'd give him a room, but he better not come over too often. We should like put pink sheets and pink curtains in the room, and spray it with nasty perfume and shit.
Why do you want to do that?
'Cause, dude, to keep him away. That motherfucker has a house. And he comes to our place and eats all the food. He gets 10% of my paycheck, and what does he do? He comes all up in here, opens the fridge, takes my food. You know what I mean? I don't need that.
Yeah, fuck Caesar Gracie.
All right, that one's not great, but I've watched like 8 of these, and some are very good. I like the Conor McGregor ones; those are funny. The guy who does the voice for Conor McGregor is pretty accurate, but the guy there that's doing Nate Diaz sounds just like Nate. I thought.
I've seen a bunch of these. They always move too slow for me. Like
They really get into the minutia of like MMA meta, and they try to get a lot of inside jokes in that I don't get them sometimes. So I don't know. I saw one with Dana White earlier, and Conor McGregor and like Rocky Balboa, and Nate keeps coming in and like beating Conor McGregor up. Like a lot of these were made before Conor came back and like defeated Nate. So like, and so many of them, Nate's just like Compton slap. He's like Stockton, motherfucker, and like just knocks Conor McGregor out or whatever. It's pretty good.
I guess I'm falling for the hype because I'm starting to think that Conor could win this fight against Mayweather.
Of course, he could win it. We could talk about that for an hour.
A month ago,
we know what each of them are, but what we don't know is like what kind of fight each of them is gonna bring to the table. You know, we always talk about, oh well, Floyd's this defensive boxer, Conor can't hit him. What if he's not interested in doing that at all? What if he has no respect for Conor McGregor and he comes out super duper
What
aggressive?
if Conor gets in his head? You think you can't
think
because he's Mayweather, right? You know, this is not his first rodeo. This is his 50th fight. But Conor gets in everybody's head somehow. And everybody, though, he got in Alvarez's head. He got in Aldo's head. He got in
Mayweather's
Mendez's
better
head.
at
but
it than
there's
Conor
one
is,
big
though.
difference.
Mayweather's on his Instagram. He's like $10,000 caption contest, and you like caption the GIF of Conor getting not like choked the fuck out. I don't know. Mayweather might get into Conor's head. That's just as likely, I think, as vice versa.
No, that's never happened.
Mayweather has the best defense in that all he has to do is have a couple of his, posse, employees or whatever, keep him from listening to interviews because he can't read the articles that that McGregor's having put forward about him. And so McGregor's out there reading these articles because you know that these guys are reading feverishly all about the communities and things
Sure.
that talk about them because they're narcissistic, maybe not narcissistic, because they're professional athletes and they clearly have an ego that they're really working towards. Like, I think that's a big advantage for Mayweather. He can't read, and so he can't be intimidated by text. And so McGregor's over there knowing that he can't throw a monster can at Mayweather. So what's his trick? This is coming from someone who's followed it not at all.
I used to think, because a month ago the talk was Conor might not even hit him once. This is the best defensive fighter the world has ever seen. Conor might get in there and literally just get outstruck like 200-0. And now I'm like, Mayweather's old. Mayweather's old. There was going to be a
two
point.
years, hadn't finished anybody in like 6 or something like that.
Yeah, it hasn't fought in 2 years. Like, at some point, things are just taken from you. You don't know. You did, like, no one notifies you. You just, like, whatever.
See him sparring though.
Yeah, you try to do a front handspring, and then you're like, oh, well, I guess I've done my last one. They're not
I was
here
looking at
anymore.
the betting odds, and the betting odds for like picking the round that Conor McGregor will win in. Like if you're betting that Conor wins round, the odds are the same for like the first 9 rounds, I think. But it's like 4,000 to 1. So put $10 on Conor to win in every round, and if the motherfucker wins in one of those rounds, it's 4,000 to 1 or something like that.
Is it
It
really
was
that
absurd.
high?
It goes to 5,000 to 1 if you're betting on Conor to win like the 10th, 11th, or 12th.
Really? Are you going to put any on it?
I'm gonna bet a couple different weird like bets on the thing. There's definitely gonna be a bet that like Conor McGregor knocks Floyd Mayweather out, right? But like I think the safe money that I would actually pay something is maybe Conor going the distance, because I'm not sure that Floyd can knock Conor out, because Conor's just a bigger guy, and all of the other factors that we've laid out there for why Floyd could possibly lose also make it just as likely that Floyd can't knock out a much bigger opponent than Conor McGregor.
All right, fighting purists are going to hate this scenario, even being entertained. But let's say Conor wins, right? How much does the UFC have to pay him for his next fight? He wins, he gets $100 million, I've heard. It's $70 million, $80 million, $100 million, stuff like that, for fighting Mayweather. Does he go back to the UFC and fight for 10 or 15 million again?
He's saying he wants to. I don't know what the numbers will be, but at some point they can't give him all the goddamn money, but they can afford to pay him more. He knows he's not going to get $50 million to fight someone in the fucking UFC. It's just not going to happen. But I bet if
At 25?
If Habib beats Tony Ferguson and they do this super fight in Russia, if they go to fucking Moscow, the first pay-per-view ever, coming out of Moscow, he's fighting the Russian Eagle or whatever the hell. I don't know. The pay-per-view numbers might be so big that they can afford to give the man $20 million.
Maybe. I like the scenario you're drawing up. I wonder why Conor doesn't fight in Ireland. It seems like you could have a huge gate.
Who's he gonna fight though? You got to have that first.
Ferguson.
If Ferguson wins, I'm sure that's probably the deal, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's the deal.
If Conor fought in Ireland, that would be big. Now the problem is the American market. It's real late. No one stays up till 5 a.m. here to watch fights.
Yeah, well then just do it at like
Do it in the
maybe have
afternoon or
main
something,
event.
right?
Yeah, maybe have the main event take place at like 5 p.m. Dublin time.
Yeah, be an
And
outdoor
it's
stadium that happens during the
it's
daytime, right?
Like-
Get one of those giant soccer stadiums. Was it Coker Stadium or something like? I forget the name of it, but where Connor wants to fight. Fill
That'd
the
be
soccer
sick.
stadium. Have it happen from like 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then here, it's only midnight, something like that. Be 10 p.m. Something
Yeah,
like
it's 5 hours difference. So yeah, but I really like the idea of having a UFC fight in a big like in a football arena, right? Or a soccer stadium, whatever, like where the stands are completely full and then the grounds are completely full, and then right there at center stage, like Ali and fucking Africa, you've got the fighters. Like that would be sick.
Why did they fight in Africa? Do we know? There's a reason.
I don't remember.
The
I don't
Thrilla
remember.
in Manila.
I just remember that like Ali went in there and totally won the people over, and he like went super racist against Frazier and like touted him as like this big monkey that he was going to defeat, and all the children, Ali Boombaye, like the whole fucking like so by the time they're in another fucking country across the world, but when it's fight time, they're in Ali's home territory. Like the whole crowd is going Ali Boombaye. Have you seen the movie
Imagine
Will
that.
Smith?
Imagine that. Like, no, I haven't, but I should.
Oh,
I
Will
bet I'd
Smith
like
kills
it.
it. Will Smith gets big and bulky and does the Kentucky accent.
You
It's
think he's on steroids?
Will Smith
Yeah.
for that, maybe, I don't know.
I watched an actor. Shucks, I can't remember it, and it's ruining the story. But I was watching a guy who got real strong, and it was a while back, like an older role, and it was like, damn, like that guy's got gyno issues. Like, I think that's what they call it.
Yeah, they do.
And it means that some steroids will give you, like, they call it bitch tits, but the nipples
Gyno
just stick
plastic.
out. It's got a little bit of girl boob, on a
Yeah.
masculine peck of a guy with
Like
nipples that
Meatloaf
stick
in,
out.
in Fight Club. This big bitch tit swinging around.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, it was Van Damme. Van Damme, to me, was clearly on steroids in some of those roles.
Yeah, Van Damme, I believe, 100% was on steroids. He was just too shredded. He was just too shredded, and there was so much mass on his small frame. His quads, his thighs, and everything were just so massive, like big and just ripped, like no fat. When he's doing those crazy like not even a split, like he goes into a split and then sits in it.
Yeah.
Like where like de-elevates it or whatever. I don't even know. It's like
He
his
can
hips
still
are.
do that.
I know he can. That Volvo commercial was sick a couple years
Yeah,
ago.
that's the one. I assume
Yeah.
he can still do it because it was only 3 or 4
Yeah,
years
of
ago.
course. Yeah. It seems like he's staying in shape. Yeah, I'm sure that guy took steroids.
Where I'm
just
from? Where
Like,
I'm
just like
from?
Stallone and Schwarzenegger.
They call it doing a split, and Taylor calls it doing the splits. And I looked it up, and it seems like Taylor's way is way more common. Like, do you
Yeah.
heard people say doing a split?
Well, I always say
I always
doing
heard
a split.
splits.
If we're gonna do it in my backyard, then I'm doing a split. But if we're watching gymnastics at the Olympics, then clearly they're doing the splits.
I've always just said it doing the splits.
Okay.
And I think everyone knows what you're talking about. Because saying like doing a split, that sounds like, is that a, like, are you going to be doing something flexible? Are you doing like a gambling thing? Like a split? Are you doing, like, I don't know. I've never heard it that way. So it's wrong.
Well, now I know.
There you go.
All right. Well, that's an hour.
Yep.
Yep. Happy 4th of July, everyone.
Yeah. I know. I just want to do it. I want to do a fitness roundtable. Do you have a weight check-in, Taylor? Do you know a current weight?
I weighed on Sunday morning, or I guess it was like Sunday
Tuesday
afternoon,
now.
and I was 205 again, which is pretty good considering I was at my grandma's house on Saturday, and so I ate just an obscene amount of
She
fried
fattened
chicken
you
and
up.
fried fish and homemade rolls, and just so much good stuff. So seeing that I hadn't regressed at all was like, oh, all right, there's its own victory. Like,
I dropped below 170 a couple days ago, so I treated myself by ordering a delicious pecan pie. It'll be here tomorrow.
it'll be here tomorrow.
That's
Yeah,
so
I
light
ordered
to
this thing.
me.
It's a pecan pie in a jar. It's like a jar, and you look in it. It's got all this like gooey, sugary stuff and like roasted pecans, and you just pour it in the pie filling and bake it.
Like,
Sounds good.
I think I'm just. There's no world in which I weigh 170. Like, right? Like, that seems really, really light to me. And Taylor sometimes talks about waist sizes. He's like, I have those 36s. They're like my fat pants. And dude, if I wear 34, I have visible abs. I wear 36 typically. and if a 34 on me is pretty thin. And I don't think I can fit into 34 right now. I'm at 202, so I'm down 18 pounds. And yeah, but I got a lot of compliments on my last video. I guess I hadn't been looking at the camera, and people could see a difference because it was like a time gap. So
Nice, good for you.
yeah, and I've been reliable on the. I took I think 2 workouts off for the kettlebells because I was sick. It was like 2 weeks ago, but I'm back at it, crushing it. So yeah,
Nice.
progress, just slow and steady, marching along. And there's one last, like, if you ever had a job where you clock watch a little bit, like maybe you worked in retail or something, and like you look at the clock and it's like 2:50, and you're like, oh, it's almost 3. Then you look at it later and it's 3. Then you look at it later and it's 3:10, and you're still like, oh my god, it's been 3 o'clock for 20 minutes now. The time is frozen. This sucks. That's kind of where my weight is. When I was at 205, I was like, I'm about to crack 200. You know, it's right there. And I
Plateaued a little.
Yeah, got ahead of
205
yourself.
meant that I had lost 15 pounds. That was my halfway point. Like, I really felt like I was doing something. Then 204 happens, 203 happens, 202 happens, and it's like, oh my god, like I've been waiting to crack 200 for a long time now. I thought I was close, and I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. And now I'm at 202, and I'm just like, I've been trying to. I look forward to my weight starting with 1.
Time for a colonic.
Stay the course.
Just like on the
You're
Ultimate
right and
Fighter.
wrong.
Go get that colonic.
I do not think.
What if you did go get the colonic and you were 192?
That would,
You'd be
I would
like,
be-
I was so full of shit this whole time.
I was gonna make that joke. I also try to do like an honest weighing because I could weigh 199 tomorrow, right? All I need to do is do some cardio in the sun. I'll drop 3 pounds of water and I'll weigh 199. But no, I need them to be honest. Wake up, whatever you were that morning, that's your weight. You know, because not looking. Not,
Do you
not
weigh
trying-
before or after the shower though? Because like I weigh after the shower. After I'm as light as I'm gonna get. I've pooped. I've peed. I've like brushed my mouth out and like anything that was hanging on to me, even into like microbes, they've been shed. like everything. I've exfoliated that top layer of skin. It's gone. Like
So I weigh
clip my
before the
toenails.
shower. Usually after poop, before shower. But sometimes what will happen is I'll like, it hasn't happened recently. I've been solid, but I'll be like 204. And this is a time when I'm expecting to weigh 203 something. So I'm going to shower up, going to try and lose that 0.2 of a pound so that the scale, because I ignore tenths, you know.
Hot shower.
Yeah. Oh, so now I shower, you know, whatever. Usually I can lose a 1/10 or something in that shower, hop on again and be like, yeah, I haven't regressed. I'm the same weight as yesterday. Because you don't lose in a straight line. You know, you might be 203, 203, 202, 203, 202, 222, and now you're like solid in the 2. I don't wake up anymore wondering if I'll be 2 again. I'm wondering if I hit 1.
Yeah. Well, it's
So-
awesome. Glad we're all keeping up with this, unlike some people out there.
Just
Quarter
Let's end the
time.
show. I want to know about this person.
Hey!
PKN 151.